Alright, what's going on, YouTube? We are heading to go check the mail again. One of my more frequent rides. We finally got a beautiful day out here in Washington. It is usually, it has been nasty, rainy, and cold. I got the actual motorcycle boots on. I got my thermals on. Rocking a hoodie as usual, but it's definitely cold when you're rolling. But it's not going to stop me from riding, but I at least want it to not be raining if I'm gonna ride. So hopefully this is gonna let me go. Thank you. Not a cop. Not a cop. Anyway, we are merging onto the highway here. See if I can't get over in the fast lane. Looks clear. Anyway, we are heading to go check the mail, and hopefully there's something there. Work kind of went sideways for the day, which works out as a bonus for me because I get to ride the bike. No complaints there. So, I still have not received the oil for my oil change. And I desperately need, I don't desperately, I'm at 54.71, so I don't like desperately need my oil changed, but I do need to get my dang oil changed on the bike. You know, I figure you have your first service at 1,000 miles, and you know, you do every 5K, so I figure even if I stretch it to 6, do the next one at 10 or something, and hopefully oil's a little more readily available. It's not even the oil that wasn't available, it's getting the black filter. All they had are chrome oil filters, and no chrome. You know me, I don't want any of that shit on my bike. So I got an email from Galen over at Tulane, and he told me, he emailed me day before yesterday and said that it had been, he was having it shipped directly from the supplier to my house. And then he touched base again this morning and asked if I'd received it yet. It shipped on Monday. I don't have a tracking number or anything for it, but I haven't received it. So hopefully, if it shipped on Monday, hopefully it'll be here today. And then I'll get the 3-hole 5K mile service video recorded, do the oil change tonight, and finally get to put my derby cover on. That's what I want more than anything, is just to throw the derby cover on. But I'm not gonna get in front of this guy. I'm not gonna just put my derby cover on unnecessarily just cause, and then have to take it off as soon as the oil gets here. It's just unnecessary wasted time, and spend that time doing other things. So trying to be patient, but hopefully it shows up today. It said it shipped on Monday, so hopefully it shows up today. But how's everybody doing out there? Hope you guys are enjoying some good weather. I've seen a few of you that watch the videos are from Washington. Hopefully you guys are out enjoying some of this weather too. I know it is pretty dang cold, especially if you're riding on the freeway at, what are we doing here, 78, 80 miles an hour? There you go, 80 miles an hour. But it's definitely cold. But I tell you what, man, I got a pair of thermals that I put on, and because really for me personally, so long as my core stays warm, like my chest and everything, I'm good. You know, my arms being cold, that doesn't really bother me too much. The worst part was my knees. My knees get super cold, and that's why I got the, you can kind of see, but I got long boots on. They go just about to the knee, not quite. I mean, it's 6 inches short of my knee, but it's more coverage. And I threw the thermals on, hoping to try and keep my knees warm. And honestly, so far, so good. I have no complaints. Keeps my legs warm, so then the only thing that's really cold is my arms. And if I was really worried about my arms being cold, you know, I got Under Armour under layers that I could throw on as well, just as an added layer. I want to say it's in like the 50s today. It's not too cold, not too warm. It's that awkward temperature where if you're right in the sun, it feels pretty good, and if you're right in the shade, it feels pretty damn cold. So the only thing I really need is the hand guards, because of the vents, my fingers get cold. And I think adding the Memphis Shade hand guards on here, that's one of the next things that I'm going to buy. That'll be a drastic change, I believe, because then my hands should stay more or less warm. I mean, I just won't have cold air blowing on my fingers directly, which will help out. It's not like my fingers are just so cold and brittle, but I imagine as we get further into winter, I very much still plan on riding my bike, and it's much colder than 50 degrees here in the winter time. But those of you that actually watch the videos, man, I'm looking for some like-minded people to hang out with, you know, ride with. None of my buddies and people who I work with at my company ride motorcycles, and I really don't care. You know, there's a Pacific post in the Pacific Northwest Motorcycle Harley Riders, and he only wants like Harley riders, and I kind of get that, but I don't care if you ride a Harley, street bike. It doesn't make a lick of difference to me. Trying to jump in front of that guy's gonna be tough. I won't be a dick this time, and we'll just scoot on over. I probably could have got in front of the tow truck. I don't know. Not the way those guys are going. But anyway, I'm looking for some like-minded people to kind of ride with. So if you like riding, and you know, me personally, I prefer to ride for more than 15-20 minutes, or 5 minutes to the bar and then 5 minutes to the next bar. That's not really me. You know, I like to be on the bike. It's not really so much the destination to me as the journey between the destination. I don't want to take my bike down to the bar so I can park my bike out in front of the bar and check out my beautiful bike. Like, nah, I don't need to pick up chicks. You know, that's not my life. You can check out my beautiful bike as I zoom past your ass on the fucking freeway and just out having a good time, you know what I mean? So if there's anybody out there that likes to ride, I'm 100% looking for some riding buddies just to cruise around on, especially next summer. You know, I know riding in the winter is not everybody's, especially here in Washington. I mean, you get so few days that you can even go ride because it's either raining, possibly snowing, or the roads are wet and it's cold as hell, so then you got ice. And I'm not, you know, these bikes aren't cheap, and replacing them's not cheap. I don't mind riding in the rain. I'm not gonna, you know, bail on a ride if it's raining, but if I don't have a ride planned, I'm not going to jump on the bike and go ride in the rain. But you know, I don't mind riding in the rain. The rain's not bad. You can be careful. There's a huge difference to me between being careful because the roads are wet and, you know, preparing to deal with some of that slippage and slidage, and riding on ice. Riding on ice is that's unpredictable. You could be going straight and all of a sudden you just don't have traction and you're fucked. I mean, it happens to me in cars and trucks, and I can only imagine it happening in bikes too. So I know that you know, summer riding's kind of come to an end. I should have started my YouTube channel a long time ago, but I've just been kind of busy with work. Summer's my busiest time of year. But anyone who is down to ride that's from the local area, man, let me know. We can link up and go ride. But the Memphis Shade handguards are definitely on the list of things to get. But I have recently emptied my savings account and put that money somewhere else, and we'll talk about that as soon as I get back out of the post office. It's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. You know, I made the one motivational video, not really motivational, but just, you know, what are you doing with your life and being honest with yourself, and this kind of ties in with that a little bit. So anyway, be right back. Alright, not the most successful trip to the mailbox, as there weren't any checks in there, but not the worst trip to the mailbox, as there wasn't any bills. So if I don't have any money coming in, at least I don't have any going out. But anyway, so I have recently emptied my savings account, and I went ahead and I've invested that money in a couple of, that guy's way over the white line. You awake over there, bro? But I've recently put that money and invested it elsewhere. You know, I had a decent savings kind of built up. You know, I take a little bit each paycheck and just put it away, and it's just, I consider it a bill. It's gone. I don't touch it. I don't use it for anything. And you know, after you, it's not an instant thing. Sometimes you have a savings account that's got 25 bucks in it, 50 bucks in it, 150 bucks in it. But before you know it, if you just continue on that path, you'll end up with a savings account with 1,000 bucks in it, 1,500 bucks in it, 2,000 bucks in it. All of a sudden you got 5 grand in your bank account. It happens. And it also happens because if you pay your bills on time, you're not paying late fees. Late fees is just, it's an inconvenience fee for you that you're just financing into your budget while you're paying for stuff, and you're artificially lifting the cost of your bill to just not have to pay that bill right now, so you can put that money towards something else. And that's the wrong decision to make. Instead, whatever that something else is, unless it's food, anyway, unless that's something that you're putting your money away to is food, you can probably wait, pay your bills, so you pay your bill on time. Now you can take that $15 late fee, put that $15 in savings instead of giving it to someone else in their bank account, and you'll be surprised how fast that shit stacks. Okay, so now you got cash stacking in your bank account. From there, oh, wow, that thing is such a nasty bump there. God, traffic is just going to be a bitch all day today. No, I don't want to be behind that guy with the RV. I wish you guys weren't here. No, I'm for sure going to be behind him. If it was just me, I'd be gone. I'd be on the freeway already. 380, Jesus. So I've been saving my money. I learned that a few years back, that if you just pay your bills, shit tends to get easier for you, and it's the truth. And I started building a savings account. So I have since taken my savings account and I have started investing in silver for starters, and I've been investing in crypto for quite some time now. Since about 2017 I've been playing in the crypto world. Come on, man. I hate people that just slowly crawl up. Like, get on the gas, sit in my damn pocket. If I gas it and cut you off, then you're pissed off at me and I'm an asshole driver, when in all reality, see, fucking people, man. Like, that lady was literally just about to change lanes into me, and that is why I have Bassani sweepers right there, because the sweepers shoot the exhaust out to the side, and I can just get on the gas and you're not mistaken that, hey, asshole, I'm right here. I knew that shit was coming. That kind of got my adrenaline pumping a little bit. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I've been investing in crypto since 2017. I've lost some money. I've made a lot of money. I've also, you know, I'm not going to be bullshit you here. When crypto got up to 20K, I was definitely feeling the bulls of, hey man, this shit could run to 30, 40, 50K. I am going to keep buying because I don't want to miss out, and then it crashed down to 3 and I ended up losing a bit of money there. But that being said, I played smart from before Bitcoin even broke $10,000 the first time. And if you play with your money properly, you can take that money and, you know, build up to where you've got a bit of a safety net. So when something like that, where the market crashes, comes down, you're at least in a position to absorb that. It's not any fun, but you're in a position to absorb that. Losing money sucks, though. There's no two ways about it. But the reason I bring that up is, you know, I want to buy my Memphis Shade handguards, and it's definitely a worthwhile investment because, let me tell you, my hands get cold. And it's, you know, if anything on a motorcycle you want to be warm, I feel like it's your hands. That's your turn signals, that's your gas, that's your clutch, that's your throttle. You know, you don't want your fingers getting cold that are controlling all of your controls and, you know, going numb to where you don't have as good of a grip, you don't have as much, you know, you're just slower in doing things. I feel like the warmer your fingers are, the better off you are to control your bike. And so it's a worthwhile investment to me. They're only like 80 bucks. And it's worth every penny. Now, I took my money out of my savings account. I put a bunch of it in silver. I bought more Bitcoin. That money was just sitting in my savings account, and I bank at Navy Fed. Every month, Navy Fed pays out their, you know, customers a dividend of everything that's going on. I usually get like 2 cents a month, sometimes 7, sometimes 9. I think the most I've ever gotten, I think my wife got like $1 or something. She banks at Kids Out Credit Union. But for the most part, you get shit returned. All right, now I was fortunate enough to throw my money in Bitcoin before this most recent pump came, where PayPal started or announced that they're going to start supporting Bitcoin and other altcoins as well. That's fantastic news. That caused the price of Bitcoin to surge, and that money that was just sitting in my bank account, all right, doing nothing, getting me 2 cents a month, in the last 7 days has made over $400 for me, just going somewhere else. And that is how you got to do it, man. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, look him up, watch his videos. I'm telling you guys, buying shitty assets or just letting your money sit in the bank is not the way to do it. Now, I am not a financial advisor of any kind whatsoever. You need to do your own research and talk to people. I'm just letting you know what I did and what has worked for me so far. But it's hard to disagree, man. And you know, sometimes you get immediate loss. You know, it's like the silver I bought. All right, let's look at the negative in the short term. I bought let's see, I bought 32 ounces of silver this last go around. So I bought 32 ounces of silver, and you know, I threw it in a safety deposit box. But you know, 32 ounces was about, I believe the current spot price right now is like $780 or something like that. I think silver is going for just over 25 bucks an ounce. So you're looking at like 780 bucks. When I bought it, it was $1,000 worth. And so I'm technically down $280 on that investment. But the US dollar is forever depreciating. And furthermore than that, the silver in the long term, this is not a short-term investment. You're not doing quick little trades where you're trying to become a millionaire tomorrow. That's not how this shit works. You build and you stack over time. Now, the fact that I've lost a couple $100 really doesn't bother me too much, because you know, that money is going to sit in a safety deposit box where it's perfectly safe, and it's just going to hang out until it actually becomes a worthwhile asset, which I guarantee you, if you have $1,000 worth of silver today, it is going to be a much different amount than $1,000 worth of silver 10, 15 years from now, all right, 20, 30 years from now. It's going to be, especially, you know, we live in the digital era, all right? We live in the digital era, the tech era, where everything is electronic. Silver is mandatory for electronics. Not only that, we are switching away from gas-powered cars and going more electric cars, and that transition is also going to require a lot of silver. If you look, you should look up how much silver is actually being mined versus the uses for it. About how silver is completely taken over on gold in the electronics market because it's just flat out better. It's being used for cars. It's got so many uses industrial wise, not just pretty jewelry, but industrial uses for silver. And the way this place is going with you know, everything going green, everything being electronic, I don't see how it's a losing bet. And so you would be smart. Silver has such a cheap entry point. Like, you know, gold's $2,000 an ounce right now. It's insane. And so most people don't just have 2,000, like, oh, come on, Fire, I don't have $2,000 just sitting in the bank to go buy a coin. Well, yeah, me either. But I do have an extra 50 to 75 bucks a paycheck. Now that I got, well, for that 50 to 75 bucks a paycheck, I could buy a couple of coins every week. Before you buy a couple of coins every week, you know, before you start doing, you got zero. And it's just money that sits in your bank, or you frivolously spend it on McDonald's, or, you know, what the hell ever you spend your money on that you honestly get zero return from. Especially, again, if it's just sitting in the bank. But you buy your silver coins at 25 bucks a coin, 27 bucks a coin, 30 bucks a coin, 35 bucks a coin. Watch that money continue to stack, man. I'm not kidding you. Because you acquire a couple coins, and so what I'm doing, because I don't have $2,000 to just go buy a gold bar, or an ounce of gold, a gold coin, whatever. But there's the silver to gold conversion rate. And so right now it takes 77 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce. Ooh. I should have went right there. But that's okay. So it takes 77 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. So what you do is you acquire silver and you do your dollar cost averaging, where you don't buy all of it at once. You buy its different values so that it helps protect yourself. If the price of silver goes up, well, then the silver that you had already goes up. And then you can just, you know, pick it up and go as you go. Oh, I'm in 4th gear. Ugh, how did I do that? And then when the price of silver goes down or goes up and you buy it, you average out. Or if it goes down and you buy more at a less price, you still average out. So you don't buy it all at once. But right now, at the making of this video, which it is October 22nd, 2020, the conversion rate is 77 to 1. All right, so you buy your 77 ounces of silver, and then when the conversion rate starts to drop down to 50, it's been as low as 25 recently. When it starts to drop down, now you take your 50 ounces of silver, go buy 1 ounce of gold, which, keep in mind, was $2,000. So you go buy your 1 ounce of silver for 77 ounces of, or 1 ounce of gold for 77 ounces of silver. Or, I'm sorry, I got lost there. So you buy it, or we're buying right now at 77. When it goes to 50, okay, when it goes to 50, you can go buy your ounce of gold. Get behind you. And you still have 20, you know, 27, depending on where it's at, but you got 20 and some change silver plus your 1 ounce of gold than if you were to just buy it right now. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm trying to do. It's my current investment strategy. Like I said, I'm not a professional, but it's kind of my plan. It's just playing the gold to silver ratio, and when the ratio's down, then buy some gold. When the ratio's up, buy some silver. It's the smart thing to do, and it just seems to me like you can stack money on stack money, and you know, it's a long game. This isn't an overnight fix. I mean, with anything that I talk about, nothing happens overnight, guys. Everything takes time. It takes money. You know, you got to slowly get there. But again, from the last video that I made to this video, I've made a couple moves and improved my savings account by over $400. If you include the silver loss, I'll even give you that. If you include the silver loss, I've improved my savings over $200 to date. What about you? You know, what moves have you made that make sense for you financially to help grow what you're doing? Excuse me while I squeeze by. So anyway, I don't want to lecture on it too much. It's just, money interests me. I love money. Money makes the world go round. I love making money. I love all that shit. And are you stopping? Oh, I'm going. But I don't want to lecture you guys. I know this is kind of a motorcycle channel, but I'm really into motivational stuff. You know, it's something that interests me, and I want to see everybody succeed, man. I get so tired of, you know, people not living a good life and not doing anything to change that. I mean, everybody's got their own idea on what a good life is, and just because it's, you know, what my idea of a good life is does not mean it needs to be your idea of a good life, okay? But I believe that financial freedom is something that leads to a good life and, you know, having money, and then that leads to health and all of that. You live longer, you live better, you live happier, you have the freedom to go and do something if you want. I mean, it opens so many avenues. Like I was talking last time, buy yourself a Harley. If you'd have made the moves that I made, you're $400 closer to that down payment, you know? And you don't have to do anything. So you know, whether it's stocks, I'm not a huge fan of stocks, but you know, obviously there's a lot of money to be made in stocks, but you know, with stocks, I feel like you got to have a lot of money to make a lot of money, and I don't have a lot of money. But with Bitcoin, with crypto, with nice, good man. And then there's you. But you know, with Bitcoin, with crypto, with even buying silver, it's a long-term stacking plan that you can do that'll drastically help improve your financial situation. And again, I'll say it time and time again, this is not an overnight fix. It is the long game. But you guys got to think about the long game. You got to think about where you're going to be at and what you can do today to make your life better 10 years from now. You know, remember when we were all in school and you used to write yourself a letter? And when you would write yourself a letter, it'd be like, to the future you, and here's what I hope you're doing, or whatever. That kind of cheesy shit. Well, you can take that and apply it to real life, where it's like, all right, future me, what can I do to help you out? Well, I'm gonna stop smoking cigarettes, which I smoke cigarettes. I haven't quit smoking yet, but it is on my radar to do. And instead of taking that 10 bucks a day I'm spending on a pack of cigarettes, how about I turn around and put that 10 bucks a day into Bitcoin? How about I turn around and put that 10 bucks a day into silver, gold, the stocks? It doesn't matter. Buy Nike, buy Facebook, it's whatever floats your boat, okay? Put it in a bank account. I mean, even if you just save it, it's not what I would do. See the beginning of this video, I don't recommend that, but especially with deflation being the way it is and the election around the corner, that election has so many question marks around it. It's not funny on what it's going to do to the economy, going both ways, either way. So anyway, I think we're going to wrap the video here. I just wanted to make a little update video because I haven't been riding because it's been raining, and I'm just waiting for the oil change. But hopefully the oil is at my house when I get home. But anyway, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I want to say what's up to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I've really enjoyed the interaction we've had with the videos lately. I read every comment that gets posted, and it truly does bring a little joy to my day. Whenever I see some of the people liking what I'm doing with the bike, things that people want to see with the black and red build and everything, I'm told there'll be some things coming down the pipeline that are going to be pretty sweet, and I'm pretty excited for it, and I think you guys will really like it as well. So hit that like button, hit the dislike button if you didn't like it, and make sure you subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified every time I make a video. I don't really do that for most people, but that's not really good advertising and selling on my part, so hit that bell. Anyways, see you, boys.